As winter's chill begins to fade, the Gulf awakens with a vibrant Gulf of Mexico. Anglers from across the globe turn their eyes to the shimmering waters of this angler's paradise. Spring fishing along the Gulf in Mexico is a time of renewal, excitement, and boundless opportunity. From the sun-kissed shores of the Yucatan Peninsula to the rich, productive waters off Veracruz, the Gulf awakens with a vibrant tapestry of marine life, beckoning fishermen to embark on unforgettable adventures. Our journey begins in the picturesque water, anglers with the thrill of a lifetime. Hard to beat, but artificial lures, prime habitat for a variety of species. Cancun's coast come alive with the arrival of sailfish, often called the fastest fish in the ocean. These majestic creatures, known for their distinctive sail-like dorsal fin, make their annual migration along the coast, providing anglers with the thrill of a lifetime. To target sailfish, arm yourself with a 30 to 50 pound class stand-up rod paired with a large capacity reel spooled with 50-pound braided line. A fluorocarbon leader of 80 to 100 pounds will help withstand the sailfish's powerful runs and acrobatic jumps. When it comes to bait, live ballyhoo or goggle eyes are hard to beat, but artificial lures, like large trolling lures in blue and white patterns, can also be effective. The key is to present your offering at the right depth and speed, as sailfish are known for their incredible bursts of speed and agility. As you cruise the waters off Cancun, keep an eye out for the numerous reefs and drop-offs that dot the area. These underwater oases are prime habitat for a variety of species, including mahi-mahi, wahoo, and blackfin tuna. For trolling these areas, a medium-heavy spinning setup or a light conventional outfit spooled with 30-pound line is ideal. Rigged ballyhoo, cedar plugs, or skirted lures are all effective for these pelagic species. Moving west along the Mexican Gulf Coast with stout conventional rods capable of these hungry predators. One of the most vast, shallow plateau extends for miles into the Gulf and is renowned for its excellent fishing, particularly for red snapper and grouper. The spring months see these bottom dwellers becoming more active as water temperatures rise. For bottom fishing on Campeche Bank, you'll want to gear up with stout conventional rods, capable of handling weights up to 16 ounces, paired with high-capacity reels spooled with 80-pound braided line. A fluorocarbon leader of 60 to 80 pounds will provide abrasion resistance against the rocky bottom structure. Live bait such as pinfish or grunts are excellent choices, but large cut baits like bonito or mackerel can also entice these hungry predators. One of the most prized catches in these waters is the red snapper. Known locally as huachinango, these crimson beauties are not only delicious but also put up a great fight. When targeting red snapper, focus on areas with hard bottom structure and depths ranging from 60 to 200 feet. The use of a fish finder can be invaluable in locating productive spots. As we continue our spring fishing cruise, a 7-foot medium-heavy thick swim baits can also be highly effective. The 80-pound braided line is standard strikes. The best times to target opportunities. In the spring, as water temperatures begin to rise, species like snook and tarpon become more active in the coastal lagoons and river mouths. For snook fishing around Veracruz, a 7-foot medium-heavy spinning rod paired with a 4,000 to 5,000 size reel spooled with 30-pound braided line is perfect. snook are ambush predators, so focus your efforts around structure like mangrove roots, dock pilings, or submerged logs. Live mullet or large shrimp are top baits, but artificial lures like suspending jerk baits or soft plastic swim baits can also be highly effective. Tarpon, often called the Silver King, begin to show up in good numbers by April. These prehistoric giants, often exceeding 100 pounds, provide heart-pounding action and acrobatic displays. To tackle tarpon, you'll need heavy-duty gear. An 8-foot heavy action rod paired with a large capacity reel spooled with 65 to 80 pound braided line is standard. Leaders of 80 to 100 pound fluorocarbon will help withstand the tarpon's abrasive mouth. Live bait is king when it comes to tarpon fishing off Veracruz. Mullet, sardines, and crabs are all excellent choices. For those who prefer artificial lures, large soft plastic swim baits or DOA bait busters can also entice strikes. The best times to target tarpon are often during the first few hours after sunrise or before sunset, especially around the new and full moons when tidal movement is strongest. Heading north, we find ourselves in the equipment. Heavy-duty 50 to 80 skipjack tuna are hard to beat. However, opportunities from the shallow like blue and white marlin. As spring progresses, the waters off Tampico see the arrival of these magnificent creatures, drawn by the abundance of bait fish in the area. Marlin fishing is not for the faint of heart and requires specialized equipment. Heavy-duty 50 to 80 pound class stand-up rods paired with 2-speed reels capable of holding at least 500 yards of 80-pound braided line are standard. Leaders of 200 to 400-pound test are necessary to withstand the marlin's powerful runs and sharp bill. When it comes to bait for marlin, large live baits like bonito or skipjack tuna are hard to beat. However, many anglers also find success using artificial lures like large skirted trolling lures or pitch baits. The key to successful marlin fishing is covering water and finding the right temperature breaks and current edges where these predators hunt. As we reflect on our journey along the Mexican Gulf Coast, it's clear that spring fishing in this region offers a diverse and exciting array of opportunities. From the shallow flats of the Yucatan to the deep waters off Tampico, anglers can find a fishing experience to suit any preference or skill level. However, it's important to remember that successes are often when fish are most active spots of fishing activity, particularly for seas. It can also be a time as the shallow bays and estuaries of fish is crucial. In general, fishing around the moving tides, whether incoming or outgoing, tends to be most productive. The periods around dawn and dusk, known as low light conditions, are often when fish are most active and feeding. One unique aspect of fishing in the Gulf of Mexico is the influence of the loop current. This powerful oceanic current brings warm, nutrient-rich water from the Caribbean into the Gulf, creating ideal conditions for a variety of pelagic species. In the spring, as the loop current pushes further north, it can create hotspots of fishing activity, particularly for species like mahi-mahi, tuna, and billfish. Savvy anglers pay close attention to satellite imagery and sea surface temperature charts to locate these productive areas. When planning your spring fishing trip to the Gulf of Mexico, it's crucial to consider the weather patterns typical of the season. While spring generally brings milder temperatures and calmer seas, it can also be a time of transition with occasional cold fronts pushing through. These weather systems can significantly impact fishing conditions, often spurring increased activity just before their arrival, as fish feed heavily in anticipation of the changing conditions. For those targeting inshore species in the spring, it's worth noting the importance of water temperature. As the shallow bays and estuaries warm more quickly than the open Gulf, they often see earlier increases in fish activity. Species like snook, redfish, and speckled trout will move into these warmer waters, providing excellent opportunities for light tackle and fly fishing enthusiasts. Speaking of fly fishing, the Spring 9-weight rod is versatile enough to handle most of the best opportunities for this challenging and rewarding technique. The calm winds often prevalent during this season make for ideal casting conditions, whether you're sight fishing for tarpon in the shallows or presenting flies to feeding schools of Jack Crevalle. For fly anglers targeting the flats, an 8 or 9-weight rod is versatile enough to handle most situations, though you may want to step up to a 10 or 12 weight for larger species like tarpon or offshore targets. When it comes to flies, it's hard to go wrong with patterns that imitate the abundant baitfish found in the Gulf. Clouser minnows, deceiver patterns, and crab imitations are all essential additions to your fly box. As we continue our exploration of spring about current regulations and practice recent years, however, its importance and regulations in place to ensure the long-term sustainability of these incredible fisheries. Many species, particularly those targeted offshore, are subject to strict bag limits and seasonal closures. It's crucial for anglers to stay informed about current regulations and practice responsible fishing techniques, including proper catch and release methods for fish that will be returned to the water. One conservation success story in the Gulf of Mexico is the recovery of the red snapper population. Thanks to careful management and the implementation of seasonal closures, this prized species has seen a significant rebound in recent years. However, it's important to note that regulations can vary depending on whether you're fishing in state or federal waters, so always check the most up-to-date information before your trip. As your spring fishing adventure in the Gulf of Lagoons of Veracruz or trolling for familiar area, these professionals know more than just catching fish. It's an opportunity grilled whole with garlic and lime, rewards for fishermen of all skill levels. Each day on these waters holds the ecosystem of the Gulf. Whether you're casting a line from a pier in Progreso, battling a tarpon in the lagoons of Veracruz, or trolling for billfish off Tampico, spring fishing in the Gulf of Mexico offers an experience like no other. The combination of warming waters, migrating fish, and the region's natural beauty creates the perfect conditions for unforgettable angling adventures. As you plan your trip, consider hiring a local guide, especially if you're fishing in an unfamiliar area. These professionals not only know the best spots and techniques, but can also provide valuable insights into the local ecosystem and conservation efforts. Many guides in Mexico have generations of fishing knowledge passed down through their families, offering a unique perspective on the waters you'll be exploring. Remember, too, that fishing in the Gulf of Mexico is about more than just catching fish. It's an opportunity to immerse yourself in the rich culture and traditions of coastal Mexico. From the bustling fish markets of Veracruz to the tranquil beaches of the Yucatan, each destination offers its own unique charm and local flavors. As you return to shore with your catch, consider trying some of the local seafood preparations. Whether it's a freshly caught snapper grilled whole with garlic and lime, or a ceviche made from the day's catch, the culinary experiences can be just as memorable as the fishing itself. In conclusion, spring fishing in the Gulf of Mexico is a celebration of nature's renewal and the timeless connection between anglers and the sea. It's a time when the waters come alive with possibility, offering challenges and rewards for fishermen of all skill levels. From the thrill of the hunt to the satisfaction of a well-earned catch, each moment on these waters is an opportunity to create lasting memories. So grab your gear, check the tide charts, and get ready to experience the magic of spring fishing in the Gulf of Mexico. From the first light of dawn breaking over the horizon to the last cast of the evening, each day on these waters holds the promise of excitement, challenge, and the possibility of landing the catch of a lifetime. The Gulf is calling. Are you ready to answer?